Hey everybody, we're live. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. And this is local GMB Pro Revealed. I think we've teased this enough that we don't need a whole lot of introductions into what this is about. I've got pretty much the whole crew on with me, including Rob, who's the co-developer of this, along with Marco. So I'm going to go right on down the line. Adam, I don't know if you're available. He said he was in the background for moral support. Are you on?
Hey, I'm available. Yeah, just came in from a run. I wanted to be here and be listening in, actually, even though I know what's going on. But hey, everybody. Glad everyone's here.
Awesome. And Hernan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, yeah, I'm just here for the ride, man. I'm just excited to see what the guys have been cooking up. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I can see the number of viewers increasing rapidly, so that's awesome. All right. Well, Marco, what's up, buddy? I know you got a lot to talk about today.
What's up, man? I'm going to be talking a lot of shit. You know, it's about to get raw. Put the kids to bed if they're not in bed. But send them out to grandma's and grandpa's, uncle's, wherever the fuck you got to send them. Send them, because you don't want them to listen to what I got to say. You know me. I'm about to get raw, man.
Yeah, either that or put headphones on. If the kids are in the room, put headphones on. All right. And last but not least, Rob, what's up, buddy?
Not much, man. How are you?
Happy to be here. Excited to see what you guys are going to present today. Guys, I'm just here for moral support kind of as well, and some conversation about how I've been applying the method that Marco and Rob are going to talk about today. I'm just the grunt on this, guys. I'm doing a lot of the training videos inside the course that launches next week. But all I'm doing is following the discoveries and implementing what Marco and Rob are discovering. So I am not helping with any of this stuff. I'm just kind of applying what they're showing me and seeing incredible results, which I'm going to share some screenshots with you guys here a little bit later on too. So again, this is entirely on them as far as like developing this product, this method, and it's just crazy the kind of results that I'm seeing in addition to what they're seeing. And so I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Marco and Rob, and let you guys run with it.
All right. Before we get into how we do that we do, let's get the formalities out of the way and let people know that this is something that's going to be available for a very limited time. In other words, the price that we're going to be offering today is going to be for a very limited time. What did we agree on? 24 hours? That the price we're offering today will be available?
Adam, if you can chime in real quick, because I know you're the one that knows this.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, it's 24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah. Now, if after the 24 hours you have not ordered, then what's going to happen is you'll have until the public launch. Because this is actually early bird, right? Like, we don't have anything fancy prepared for you guys, because you guys know us. The ones that we're offering this to are people who know us already and know that we're all about results. We're not about bullshit. We're not about pitching somebody else's product or bullshit unless we know that it actually works. What you guys get from us is shit that we've tested over and over and over, and is currently producing just phenomenal friggin' results, man. It's incredible what we're getting. And so we just want you to know, we decided this is how it's going to be done, 24 hours, early bird, unless you're in our mastermind. If you're in our mastermind, then early bird will be available until the public launch.
Next week.
Yes, the 24th. Once it goes public, that's it, right? No early bird. But mastermind will still have the benefit of applying their 30% discount. And so if you miss it today or during the next 24 hours, guys, the next way to get a discount on this will be the mastermind. We're not going to tier it, right? We're not going to say, well, it's going up, it's going up, it's going. It's going up to the final price on the 24th. So with that, Bradley, would you like to add anything else? Did I miss anything?
No, that's it, guys. Just so you guys know, too, the mastermind members, for those of you that are attending right now, you guys are getting the early bird discount in addition to the mastermind discount. And again, Correct. That's only going to be good until we launch it next week, because next week it goes to full price for everybody except mastermind members. You'll still get your 30% discount, which we always honor no matter what. But typically when we do a launch with a lower price, we don't allow mastermind members to apply the 30% discount in addition to the launch price, but we are in this case, because we really wanted, if it were up to me, I would have given it to the mastermind members for free. but we got Rob included, and he's got to make some money for all of his efforts. So we have to charge on this, guys. And but I think we're doing a really good price for you guys at Mastermind. So with that said, let's get into training, man.
Yeah, well, we didn't really prepare anything formal. As I said, you guys know us. You guys are familiar with what we do. We've been around long enough, for nearly 5 years as Semantic Mastery. I've been around for nearly 15 years online. I think it's almost birthday time for my 15th year of doing this and making money, getting results. I tell people, I don't think of myself as an SEO, as a ninja, an expert, or whatever. It's just I can rank shit, and that was usually really good up until I would say about five years ago, when things just started changing and they started flipping a lot. Where if you didn't really target your audience and the people who were looking to buy whatever it is that you were selling, then no matter how good or how much traffic you got, the results weren't quite there. Meaning that you really had to drive a whole lot of traffic to your website to get the sales that you wanted. In the beginning, it was just really simple. You ranked, you brought people to your page, and they bought. And what's happened is we've always tried to simplify things. We've always looked at how to make things simpler. And so I think that with this course that we're coming out with today, we have actually accomplished that. We've taken all of the garbage, everything, all of the roadblocks that have been thrown our way in the last 5, 6, well, actually even 7 years. 2011 is when I remember it getting a little bit difficult to do the things we do, but we're still at it, at any rate. So let me just tell you guys how this all came about, because serendipity, you know what they say, at the right place at the right time, and you don't really know why something happened, but you were just there, you took advantage of it, and then you got a phenomenal result for whatever reason. And so the story starts with Google My Business listing that I was playing with. And I'm usually into so many things that I was playing with it and looking at all of the things that Google was making available. This is mid last year, probably. And then, like everything else that I do, I just set it aside for something else. I just went into something else, and probably because we were releasing RYS Academy Reloaded. So I went off into something else. I couldn't spend that much time with that. And then, so that went off in the shelf, that Google My Business listing that actually belonged to me. Now, during that time, I began talking to an attorney in New York City. And, she hired us to do a website development and a whole bunch of other things. I put my guys on it. And then I was trying to figure out how to lock her into a monthly recurring. And I couldn't really figure out how to do it. I was thinking. And every time that I came to her with a proposal, she would say no, because she felt that it would jeopardize her. She was building this boutique firm in New York City. She wanted to be really exclusive. And she wanted to kind of name her own price and choose and pick who came to her, or she wanted to be at a high enough level where she wouldn't just get anyone. And so all of this type just tell me I don't really want to damage my reputation. I don't want to damage my name. I don't want to damage my brand. And she had a really low opinion of SEOs. And so, one of the first things that I told her is, look, I'm not really an SEO. I'm more of a person who could just get results for you. I mean, I'm not. The one thing that I do is always make sure that I protect my clients, their brand, their image. I'm not going to do anything to a client site that I know is going to damage their livelihood, because you're going to put people out of business if you don't know what you're doing. And so it's just one of the things that I've always done is try to make sure that the client is always protected. So no matter how spammy I get, and I tend to throw a lot of garbage out there at tier 2, 3, 4, just to make everything work. So at any rate, we're talking back and forth, and I can't figure anything out. I finally decided to look at her business listing, and it's not verified. So here's an attorney in New York City trying to protect her brand and her image and all of these things, and she's working in an office building with other offices, and she's not protecting her Google My Business listing. And so it opened the door. I was able to say, hey, look, I found this out about your business, and you're so into protecting your name. Why aren't you protecting your verified, your listing in Google? Why isn't it verified? And she actually just never had any clue, or she never really listened because of this really low opinion she had of SEOs. She said that she had people work on her website before, try to do SEO, and she never really got results. So I'm talking to her. I'm going back and forth, trying to lock her into a monthly. And I went in right after our RYS Academy Reloaded was released, but I didn't go to do anything for her. I left it alone. But I did go into the other Google My Business listing that I was playing with, and I just noticed, holy shit, this is getting traffic, and this is getting visits over to the website, and it was set up, or it's still set up as an affiliate. And so I go in and look, and I've got like $1,500. It wasn't that much, but can you imagine? You go back last year and you work on something, and you throw up images, all of these other things that you have to do. You fill it all out with Google. It's verified, and you go in there. You do nothing for what was it, 4 or 5 months until I went in again, and you have you have this check in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like this. Why is this happening? So now, again, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew it was coming from that GMB, because one of the things that they've always given you, or that I've always seen in there, is those insights. Is a way for you to check what it is that the people who are visiting your business listing or your knowledge panel, what they're doing, whether it's calling, whether it's going to the website, whether they're asking for directions, if you've made directions available, and everything else that they interact with. They'll look at your images, they'll look at your video, they'll look at a whole bunch of other things, and all of this, you have all of this information, or most of it, available to you. And so this is when I said, well, what better way is there than to get paid while I'm testing? So I went back to her and I said, look, let's get your business verified. I'm not going to touch your website. I'm not going to touch your other properties or social media, but let me work inside the Google My Business listing, because what I'm going to do in here is nothing but what Google wants me to do, or what they'll let me do. There's very little that I can do in there to damage your brand. She said, okay. So I go in there, I start working on it, and then all of a sudden, about 6 weeks went by, because the agreement that we had to meet online. We had a call, and I recorded the call where we agreed this is going to be tiered. In other words, what I'm going to charge you monthly is going to be dependent on the money, or the amount of people, or the calls, or the actions that you get, or you Google My Business system. And you don't have to pay me anything to get started. I'll do the work. I'll do whatever's required, because honestly, I wanted to test. I wanted to test and see if I could replicate what I had unknowingly done in the other Google My Business system. So I went in there and I started playing around. I had an idea from the other listing of what needed to be done, but then Google started adding all of these different things that you could apply inside the Google My Business system. And so even though I told her that I wouldn't do anything, or you really can't, to jeopardize, I did figure out other things about, for example, posts, and how you can really take advantage of posts. And the things that you need to do is not just posting, although that has some effect. In fact, we have a guy in our mastermind, and I don't know if he's here, so I don't want to mention his name, right? I don't want to put him out there on Broad Street without asking for his permission. But he did reach out to me, and he said that just from the 3 things that I had talked about in our Hump Day Hangouts and during our Semantic Mastery Mastermind, that he had been able to generate about 20 calls in a period of a couple of weeks. And so that just validates how quickly and how effective this is if you begin to apply the things the way that we do it. We don't need a website, because I told her I wouldn't touch the website, and so I couldn't. And so I had to figure out a way around it, and we did. I I told her that I wouldn't go into her tier 1, and I didn't. What I did is I actually built a Twitter account that was geared towards legal issues and answering questions and answers without trying to give legal advice. Just a lot of results like from court cases and things like that. Of course, I have a VA. She's now paying for that VA. In fact, she kept him. He was so good. So at any rate, you get those posts and you do them the right way, and it's just you get all of this love from Google, and really, there's no need for rankings. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it's so exciting. There's so many things that you talk about. No website, no rankings. If I had gone with her and said, hey, look, I'll rank you for the top terms, that would have been it, because it was recorded. And so I would have been in breach of contract immediately, because I can't show her results. I can now, because I do have access to her analytics and her search console. And so I can show her how her organic rankings have come up ever since we started doing the Google My Business. And so I can show her that her better rankings or better organics are due to the activity on the Google My Business listing. And not only that, that triggers what some refer to as triple T, and what I've been calling ART, A-R-T, which is activity, relevance, trust, and authority. Activity on the link, because Google, it's inside Google, guys. This Google My Business listing lives in there. Google is getting everything that's done to that Google My Business listing, all of the activity on that listing, and it's transferring trust and authority and relevance over to the website. And so as a direct result of what we're doing in Google My Business, there is a bounce, an upward trend in organic rankings. Okay.
All right. You mind if I jump in for a minute?
No, absolutely not.
All right. So to kind of expand on what Marco was saying, I landed a client maybe 5 or 6 months ago. It was a referral in an industry that I typically don't work in. It's preschool. A guy owns 2 locations, 2 preschool in 2 different locations. Anyways, he hired me to do just local SEO stuff. That's it. So basically maps ranking, nothing else. I'm not maintaining his website. I'm not doing blogging, none of that. I sold him on a syndication network as well, and a drive stack as part of the setup. But other than that, it's just basically citation building, and I do press releases and stuff like that. However, when I first landed this client, I basically cloned. He had 2 separate domains for each one domain for each location. We consolidated to one branded domain and put each location on a subdomain, all this kind of stuff that we typically do. But all I was doing was the local SEO stuff, right? So no blog, no blog posting, content marketing, and all the stuff that I normally do. This was strictly a maps engagement. In other words, he was paying me per location just to rank in maps. I told him, I'm not even going to attempt to rank you in organic. If it happens, it's great, but I'm just going to get you ranked in maps. He was cool with that. So I billed him for that. That's what he's still subscribed to now. However, what I didn't realize was what was crazy was that within 30 days, and that was from changing his sites were only like 2 or 3 months old anyways when he hired me. But we'd changed domains and everything, right? And within 30 days, he was ranked in the 3-pack for both locations, one of them being uber competitive too. And I never really understood why that one project I got results so quickly for that guy. Like, honestly, I was stumped. I had no idea. I mean, of course I was touting, yeah, that's how good I am. That was total bullshit. I didn't understand why he ranked so quickly, because I didn't really do anything different than what my normal standard operating procedure is for any client. However, what I come to find out was, he's got an in-house social media person who handles Facebook posts and had been posting in GMB, the Google My Business, using the post feature, and was posting, I think it's 2 times per week that they post. But I had never really put 2 and 2 together. I noticed the activity, but I never thought that would have such an impact on the SEO. And it wasn't until Marco and Rob started developing this GMB Pro process or method that I realized, like in going back and researching the reports that I generated for the last several months, and in looking at his history of posts inside the GMB dashboard, that's what was happening, was that the SEO work that I was doing was being augmented, I guess, or it was improving, or the GMB posts, excuse me, that they were publishing regularly was helping my SEO, right? It's working hand in hand. And so it makes me look like a rock star. And although, like, I didn't change anything from what I normally do, but just the fact that they were doing the GMB posts, it made a huge difference in SEO, as far as the, getting ranked in maps, even for something very, very competitive. And I got 2 screenshots I'm going to show you here, guys, of this particular client. I'm going to grab the screen real quick, and then I'll also drop these images on the, or excuse me, these links on the event page. But I want you guys to see this real quick. So this is location 1. I just took these screenshots just now, like right when we were starting the webinar. This is location 1, and this is the last 1 month, guys. 1 month. You see that? And you can show that there's 106 visits to the websites. This is a preschool, so people, it's not like contractors, which I normally deal with. So people do click for directions to the location. 158 requests for directions, 45 calls. This is just from the maps listing, guys. So this is like organic engagement signals from the maps listings. If that makes sense. This is the other location. This is the one that had, look at this, 66 visits to the website, 52 requests for directions, and 24 calls. So between those 2 locations, guys, I mean, look at the amount of activity. It's insane. And again, all I've done for this client was some very basic maps SEO stuff, right? Which is citation building. I do 2 press releases per month, 1 per location, and that's primarily it. And then, but they've just been really, really just crushing it with, their leads from their maps listings, and a lot of it has to do just from their own in-house posting. So back to you, Marco.
No, that's awesome results. And is this likely to happen for everyone? We can't say what your niche will react to or how quickly. But what I've seen time and again is not only that you get results, but like you can literally unsandbox, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word, but you can unsandbox your TLD just from the activity that you send through. Because of course, what's Google looking for? They're looking to build up your page rank, which is still there. It's still part of the algorithm. And then through PageRank and through all of the other metrics that are involved and that RankBrain is pulling from, is building a ranking score. And so it's deciding, and this takes place almost real time, right? It's deciding whether it's going to show your query for whoever it is that's looking for your products and services. And so what we're doing is we're going, it's like a one-shot direct into RankBrain, where we're sending it all of these signals from what? A trusted entity. Why is it a trusted entity? Because it's verified, because it has activity, because it has relevance, and it has trust. And all of that transfers. Google not only trusts itself, Google trusts everything that's tied to it, right? The algorithm, and I talked about this last Friday, for those of you who are on there. This is why what's going on now is so good, because not only does it work one way, it works the other. And so you're getting all of this ART, from the Google My Business listing over to the website. And then the website bounces it back. So now you're creating what I always call the endless mirror effect, right? In the barbershop or in the beauty salon, wherever it is that you go and get your stuff did, and get all decked out or whatever the fuck it is you do. Well, you see yourself in there, and then you see the back of your head, but then you see in there, you see the back of your head. And this is what happened. It's just bouncing back and forth. And it's like ad infinitum. It never ends. And so you get all of that push from one to the other, so that your website, your TLD, if it's connected to this, and it's not even necessary. Let me just emphasize, a TLD isn't necessary, but should you decide to do that, that's going to transfer over, and it's going to transfer back, so that Google is going to associate your TLD with the Google My Business listing, with everything that's happening on that Google My Business listing, and you're going to benefit from that. But now, one of the things for this is that you do need Google My Business. You need a verified business inside Google, and you have to go in there. You have to provide them with everything. If you send them over to a TLD, you should have analytics on there. You should have search console attached to it. You do whatever it is that you need to do to make this association and to make it transparent authoritative and trustworthy as far as Google's concerned, because that's where we're drawing from. And now let me go back to the algorithm, to this reference where this is happening. So Google is also looking at everything else that's tied to that Google My Business system. And so if your TLD is in there, and so is your social media presence, and whatever else that you decide to go. If you're in RYS Reloaded, I know you're already thinking about getting all that love into a Drive stack, and you get that connection, and it goes back and forth. Drive stack, GMB to Drive stack and back. You get the my map connection. Now, one of the things that I thought about when doing this was how do, especially with this attorney, how do I recreate the local relevance in a city like New York? Because in my maps is really simple. We associate pins with either historical monuments, with the library, the courts for an attorney. It's really important to associate that court with that attorney, or at least I found in this case. And then with other attorneys that I've worked with, it's really important to reference that. And the way that I worked it out is we hired a bike messenger service, guys. They're all over New York City. And we make sure that their GPS is turned on in their cell phones, and they go all over, they take pictures, and they upload to the attorney. So instead of going from outside the GMB in, we're going from inside the Google My Business system out. And wherever it is that they go, they upload images. Mobile is, as far as I'm concerned right now, everything. I mean, it kind of does away with needing to target two different, desktop and laptop and mobile, because it's all about mobile now. We went mobile first. I mean, they told us that's the algorithm. We're going to hit mobile, and then we'll worry about where desktop and laptop goes. But what I've seen, once again, is that from doing all of this, you will get a benefit into your desktop and laptop, right? Your PC listings. And so I'm doing this work with the attorney, and then one day I just reach out to Rob and say, hey, Rob, check this out. And I show him what's going on with the attorney. And he said, well, what are you doing? And I told him what I'm doing. I'm doing this. And I think we set up even before we contacted Bradley, we set up a document where I just told him the steps. He went, replicated, got results. I went, oh, fuck, we're onto something. Let's talk to Bradley. Hey, Bradley, check this out. Check out what's happening. And you can tell your story better than we can, Bradley, when we reached out to you.
You mean for which one?
For the documents. No, you decided to apply it to Mario.
Yeah.
Really, okay, we just said, hey, look.
Yeah, all right. So the case study, all right. So I landed another client a couple of weeks ago. Well, it's been a couple of months now, actually. It was another client referral, again, completely outside of an industry that I would typically deal with. This is a cab company, a taxi service. And anyways, I had just actually pitched the client on my proposal, which again was just basically local SEO stuff. There was a website build included though. And so I went ahead and he agreed. And like, I think the same day or within 24 hours, Marco and Rob reached out and was like, hey, you got to see this. And they told me about the method, which was that they started to develop. And at that time, it was like just a Google sheet with like a Google Doc, one page with some notes on it. And I started reading through it, and I was like, all right, well, you know what? This would be great because I got a brand new client that we have to, he had an existing Google My Business, a verified GMB profile, but it was verified by an ex-employee that would not give access to it. So we had to start all over from scratch. And it was actually starting over from a negative position, right? Because we had to undo what was already done before we could start. So it wasn't even really starting from scratch. So I had to get involved with GMB help, support or whatever, and get all that shit resolved. And it took a little bit of time, but I got it done. And so I'm using that cab service. I decided at that point, I was like, I want to apply this method specifically to this new client because I haven't done anything else with this client yet. There's no syndication network. There's no drive stack. No blog posting. I actually started building a website on a domain. I bought a top .com domain for him. It's a branded domain. And I started to I installed a WordPress template. I have not updated it at all. Well, like the title tags and stuff. Long story short, I ended up going further through the training or the method that Marco and Rob have been developing. And so I just redirected the top level domain to the site that you can, the GMB, the Google My Business website, right? Which is now also an option, which is built from the GMB posts. You can create, you can add copy or text to the homepage and stuff like that. But basically it publishes your posts that you post inside of GMB to the website. And it's on, what is it? business.site. So it's always a subdomain.business.site. And I mean, I guess I can talk about it publicly. I was just checking while you were talking, Marco, and I just did a brand search, guys. I haven't done anything else with this client yet, other than some of the initial GMB stuff. We were on hold for a couple weeks, for several weeks actually, while I was training a VA to handle a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing inside of GMB Pro, because I don't want to have to do it myself. And so I've been training a VA for the last couple of weeks, and she just started posting regularly this week. So starting really today, she started last week, but our goal is to post 4 times per week. And she only got a couple of posts out last week as she was in training. But so she starts the full regular posting this week. And what's interesting about it is he still has an existing website out there. Again, we have no access to it. It's a Wix website. So if I do a brand search for him right now, that still comes up first. But the knowledge panel is coming up for this company now with the post showing. 5 hours ago, my VA just posted another post, and it's showing in the knowledge panel. But the business site, so the GMB website, which again is Mario's cab service.business.site, wasn't indexing at first. Marco showed me how to make that index. So we got that index, but even so, this was last week when I checked it, it was like on page 3 or page 4. We haven't done anything, guys. Nothing else has been done at all in several weeks with this project. In fact, I'm going to be adding more training for this case study into the members area this week before launch next week. But all she's done is 2 or 3 posts now, and it's already moved up to page 2. I'm looking at it right now. It's position 4 on page 2. So, and that's the GMB website, guys. Again, what we're trying to convey to you guys is that even though the guy bought a website build, I only charged him for half up front, and I'm not even sure that I'm going to end up I might end up building a full website for him depending on what he wants. But he just wanted phone calls anyways, and we're already getting results for something that's only maybe 30% of the way complete. And we haven't done any additional work whatsoever except a few Google My Business posts. And already the website on the domain, which is a GMB provided domain, which is business.site. So it's, again, company name.business.site, is already starting to rank. It's starting to climb in the ranks for the brand search. And I know that shouldn't be difficult, but my point is, with no additional SEO work done, no link building, no anything else whatsoever, it's already starting to climb. And so it's very, very promising. And as Marco was pointing out, because he's a manager of that listing as well, I was just looking at the GMB Insights, and in the last month he's had, I don't know, 8 calls, or I'd have to go back and pull it up, but he's had a bunch of calls in the last month, and I haven't done anything to it in like 3 weeks. So it's pretty amazing how quickly this works.
It is. It's incredible. And excuse me if I'm glancing away, but I was just uploading some images into the D Plus page so that you guys could take a look.
Did you upload one from this project? Because I was just about to pull one image from that.
No, I don't think. Well, take a look. Take a look at the Plus page towards the top, because what that shows is engagement, right? Insights, the total actions. Rob talked to Brian, and we know that he reached out to him because he knows Brian is an action taker. Brian has been with us he started out with us with Semantic Mastery and the Mastermind and the original RYS Academy, and he just flew. He went from nearly broke to over 100K within 1 year, right? Within one calendar year, and just from taking action. The things that we were sharing, the things that we were doing in RYS Academy. And so Rob reached out to him, and Rob, you tell it. I have his testimonial that I'll read to you guys, because I think it's really important. I'll put it on the page in quotes, but why don't you tell him what happened with Brian?
Yeah, so I reached out to Brian because I knew he'd take action. and I knew that he would basically follow through. And I didn't even give him all the training, so I just gave him kind of the higher level, some of the things that we have discussed here. And he went through and, you know, took the action like he does. And he did some of the stuff that we cover in the training. He did some posts across, I think he did 3 sites that he has. And his call volume from those, and I think that's one of the ones you posted there. I'm trying to find the image here. But his call volume,
Yeah,
it went up, like he was getting readings of like 45 plus calls, and then that's when he reached out and he said, and that's not even accurate. That's only registering the calls where they actually click on the call button within the GMB. So he received an extra 100 calls in that 1 month of him kind of just testing this. And then later on, he reached out to me and he said that this is a higher call volume than he had been receiving. And his site had already been ranking in the Maps pack. So he applied this to a site that was already in the Maps pack, and it basically doubled his call volume, even though he was already in the Maps pack. So it goes to show that even without, so I mean, this would be a situation where you wouldn't even show ranking increases because he was already ranking. But the number of impressions, if you call it impressions, or views or displays that Google put his business in front of people that were searching for his terms went through the roof, and it caused his phone to just ring off the hook.
Yeah, let me jump on that for a minute, because guys, I don't know this to be the case for sure, but this is my thoughts or my assumption as to how this works, because a lot of the stuff inside GMB now, the tools that they give us, right, the features that are free for us to use, they're mobile centric. In other words, they're designed more for mobile users and mobile search. And you can tell that for sure, because, for example, if you look in the GMB dashboard, you can add services. In services, you can add a service, you know, product or service name, a description, and a price. And when you go to look for it on desktop, it doesn't show. But if you look for the company and you pull up the knowledge panel or whatever, the maps listing from mobile, you'll see a menu option. It's like a little, like, you know, you can swipe the navigation menu left or right, and there will be a menu tab there. And if you tap that, that'll pull up the services and the prices and all that. And so again, also, those are, you know, things that you notice on mobile, plus the messaging feature, right? That's a mobile feature. So there's a lot of things that are about mobile. Well, years ago, like I'm talking a decade ago, or when Google first became the behemoth that it is now today, when it was, I remember watching and you can probably find it on YouTube, but it was Larry Page up on stage talking about how Google's prime goal was to end search, right? And that in the future, they were going to try to make all search queries unique to each individual user. In other words, 2 people could be sitting side by side in the same location with different mobile, you know, they each have their own mobile device, and search for a specific query, and each of them see different results that are personalized or unique to them based upon their search habits, their interests, their likes, all that kind of stuff. You know, all the shit that's in the news right now about what Facebook, the kind of data Facebook has on us. Well, Google has that kind of data too. And so we're talking like a decade ago, Google was talking about wanting to make personalized or unique search results for every individual user. And that's what they can do with mobile, guys. It's much harder on desktop and laptops to do that, because you could be signed. I mean, there's a number of reasons why that's difficult. But with mobile devices, Google knows intimately about you, right? They know your habits, the places you visit, the locations you go to, the music you listen to, the things that you search for, the content that you interact with, all that kind of stuff, right? And so when somebody is on a mobile device and they are searching for something, whatever it may be, if your business is active in, or one of your clients' business is active in GMB, and it's even tangentially related, it's a big word, but even if it's even remotely related to what their query is, Google will show your maps listing and your activity because of the stuff you're doing in GMB to that user, even though on good desktop or laptop, you could do that same query and you might not be shown at all. Your business might not be exposed to that user, but from a mobile device, it could be. And so I think, and again, this is just my assumption based upon what I know. If anybody has any hard data to tell me that I'm wrong, I'm certainly will admit that. But my opinion on this is if you take a look at like the traffic from, for example, the client that I just installed that I'm doing the GMB method for, or for my preschool client that's got, and you look at the traffic, the sheer volume of traffic, the vast majority of it in the interactions, clicks to the website, all that stuff is coming from mobile. And so he's been really successful with the GMB posts. And also, you know, we decked out the rest of his GMB profiles. We use the messaging app, the appointment setting URL, all that stuff. And so, again, it's my opinion that the way that Google is like promoting businesses is they're rewarding businesses that are using all of their features by giving more exposure to mobile users, if that makes sense. And does that sound logical to you guys, Marco, Rob?
It sounds completely logical, and I think it has a lot to do with that, with the fact that they want to be able to target you individually. Wayne just said that Google knows him more intimately than his wife. Yeah, probably got that right. Anyway,
oh, poor Google.
Let me go ahead and read Brian's testimonial because it's awesome. He says, I was privileged to be part of the beta testing group or program. And we reached out to a few people. I'm still waiting for a couple of results to come back. But it's so awesome that I mean, there's no need to hold back. But he said that Rob told me that it would result in crazy results, but he was skeptical. He said, I was skeptical. So I added tracking codes and followed his instructions. The first week I saw 50 to 80% increase, first week in calls and my maps listing, he says. And I believe it not only unsandboxed me, but gave me priority, and I became the preferred search in Google because, as Bradley said, they're targeting people. Now they as well, let me go and quote Wayne, they have intimate knowledge of your GMB and what it is that you do. And they have intimate knowledge of these people who are plugged into Google and doing all of these things. And so what's going to happen? If Google is looking for something that's trusted and authoritative to serve up that result, it's going to go to itself first. And it's going to choose from itself. And then it'll go out and see what else it can offer this person. But we're triggering I can talk to you all day long about what we're triggering. But the most important thing that we're triggering is the freshness aspect of the algorithm, where we're just feeding it fresh, unique, relevant content that's updated on a regular basis. And we're also triggering the ranking score algorithm in such a way that we don't even need a website. We don't need no stinking website to rank with this. We don't, maps, 3-pack, who gives a shit? I don't need to rank in a 3-pack to get people to call me. This is what's so awesome about it. You know, one of the things that we talked about when we sent out ads for this, or when we posted in the groups and everything, was we're about to turn the SEO world on its ear once again. And why did we say that? Because everything that you know about SEO, about ranking in the 3-pack, I saw I was looking at a 3 or 4 page write-up that somebody did to go into the 3-pack. So you have to do all of this work, according to someone in another group, to rank in the 3-pack. And I'm like, I don't need to rank in the fucking 3-pack to get calls, to get actions, to get website visits, to get people to ask me for directions. All I need to do is do what Google is asking me to do, and I get love in return. Another person who heard us talk about this during Hump Day Hangouts, of all places, because he only comes to Hump Day Hangouts. He reaches out to me and says, well, I'm applying it and I'm getting awesome results. What are you applying? He says, well, you know, the stuff that you've given away. And I'm like, dude, if giving away got all those results for you, bro, the stuff that we give away for free in Hump Day Hangouts, and it was just talking about what we're doing. He just pieced it together. And he said, well, I'm getting fantastic results for clients. And just to go back of why this is so effective, Brian finishes off his testimonial by saying, it's also worth noting somehow that I was already #1 in maps. So he already had the 3-pack, but it wasn't triggering as many calls as it should have or as it could have for whatever reason. The moment that he went into his GMB and kind of validated all of that, it was already verified. But you have to go through what I call the validation and then the solidification process, where you solidify your rankings, and it's all inside this Google ecosystem. Everything's taking place in there.
Yeah.
That's why this is happening.
if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in on that again too, because a couple things about that. Like, guys, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Google 10 years ago talked about, and it might have been longer now, but they talked about how they wanted to end search and be able to, like, end search. That was their motto, and to be able to provide unique results specific to every user. But think about why this works so well, guys, because you don't even need an external website, right? That's what Marco was just saying. We don't need no stinking website, and that's true, because when you use all the tools that Google gives you, the features that they give you inside of the GMB dashboard now, Google can serve a searcher, a Google user, all of the information that they need without them ever having to click outside of the Google environment, which is exactly what Google wants, guys. Think about that. Like, just the same as you guys, anybody that does any Facebook marketing, you know damn well that if you include an external link, whether it's a paid ad or an organic post that posted in a group or a page, anywhere whatsoever, if you post an external link, it gets a hell of a lot less reach than if you have a link to a Facebook event or another post or something like that. You get a hell of a lot more reach out of any activity on Facebook when it stays within Facebook. Facebook does that intentionally because they don't want to push people off of their platform. Well, Google does the same damn thing, and that's why I truly believe they're rewarding anybody that's using all of the GMB features right now, because they're saying, hey, these guys, this business gets it. It's keeping everybody inside the Google environment. We can provide the searcher with all the information, appointment setting, messaging, click to call, clicks to website. But if you have the internal, the GMB website, you don't even need an external click to a website. Like driving directions, all of these things can be done now right from within the Google environment, right from a phone, laptop, whatever, without ever having to click. And so that's why I believe that Google is rewarding people that are using it. And then one other thing, Marco was talking about, who gives a shit about the 3-pack? Well, here's the thing. It's not, we don't know whether the activity that we're doing, like I don't know whether the activity that I'm doing in the GMB dashboard is producing 3-pack results for people in that location. In other words, we usually use rank trackers, guys, that are like, I use Bright Local. I love Bright Local. I've been using it for years. Is all of my client reporting, my local maps rank tracking, and all that kind of stuff. I use Bright Local for all my clients and all my lead gen properties. And you can set the search location either by zip code or by city plus, city and state, whatever. But it's not always accurate, because like I can pull a report from Bright Local, and then I can go into the Google AdWords dashboard and use the ad preview and diagnosis tool and then set my location and then do another keyword query, and it will show, it shows what the results are supposed to be based upon a searcher in that location. And so I can literally see different results from using the AdWords keyword, the ad planner and diagnosis tool or whatever, versus the Bright Local report. And so that goes to show you that there's a difference in rank, like what's shown in the search results based upon where the searcher is coming from. Well, it's even different on mobile, right? And so my point is, even though our rank trackers may tell us that we're not in the 3-pack, for somebody that's in close proximity to that business on a mobile device, we may very well be in the 3-pack, right? Or we may be, as you said, I think Brian Costello was the one who was talking about being the preferred search, or whoever it was that said my business is now obviously the preferred search. Again, whether we're seeing it in our rank tracking apps or not, somebody that's in that location, in close proximity to that location, may very well see like a knowledge panel where everybody else is seeing a 3-pack. Does that make sense? So again, it's all about giving Google what it wants, which is to keep people in its environment. And that's exactly what the GMB tools are giving us.
Yeah. Okay. What I meant by we don't give a shit about 3-pack is when you go to your client and you pitch this, because this is what you need to do, right? Or you get a bunch of verified listings for yourself and you go into affiliate or whatever it is that you decide to do. But the thing is, we don't care about 3-pack listings. It's not something that you can. It's something that you can't guarantee unless you're absolutely the best at what you're doing. Many of us can go in there and like, we know what it takes to trigger 3-pack rankings, what work needs to be done, but you need to do so many things, and it's not guaranteed, of course, because it's Google, and Google owns the listing, and they'll show whatever it is that they want to show for whatever reason. But when you go take a look at the rankings, I'll go back to my story about the attorney in New York City. If I had told her I was going to get her rankings, I'd be in breach of contract right now, because there's nothing I could do well now that we have Search Console in there. I can show that there is it's not a correlation. It is a direct effect. It's causal, right? There's a causal relationship between what it is that we're doing in the GMB and organic rankings. But if I had told her anything about rankings in the beginning, I don't think we would have gotten past the second month. We wouldn't have been there long enough for me to double the price and then try to double it again. She didn't like that when we had to double it again.
There's a quick question, a couple points I want to address real quick. First, George, he says, George Dean in our mastermind, he says, if not in the 3-pack, how does the web surfer see the phone number then? And that's what I was talking about, George. What I'm saying is that we might not see it in the 3-pack from our remote location looking at rank apps, right? Rank tracking apps. But somebody that's in that location in close proximity to that business that's on a mobile device that's doing a search may very well see us in the like your business, your client, whatever, in the 3-pack, or even just a knowledge panel because you're the preferred search. Does that make sense? So even though we're not seeing it where we're checking the rankings from a remote location, somebody in that location, Google will promote that business to them on a mobile device because it's a unique search result to that user based upon their search history, what they're looking for, and the business being somewhat related to what their interests are or what they're currently searching for. Does that make sense? So hopefully that helps with you, George. Also, I just want to repeat this. Don Johnson posted, and this is awesome, Don. He says, Marco is 100% correct. Partnered with a new plumber, brand new business, brand new website, still on page 5, and started getting phone calls and couldn't figure out where they were coming from. It was all from his GMB listing, and it wasn't even in the 3-pack. Yeah. So that goes to show you exactly what we're talking about.
So there you go. Thank you for the validation, Don. I appreciate it. But I mean, it's what we're seeing time after time after time. I'm not going to get into the how, like how many images, how many videos, and how it's all put together. You know, how you trigger each one differently and what it is that you need to do to trigger everything so that it's pushed over to whatever. Like, you don't need a TLD. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you don't need a website. You don't need a TLD because you just use a business site. You use what Google gives you so that you validate and solidify your entity. That's what this is all about, guys. What it all comes down to, once again, and it's something that I've talked about for years now, it's math. And when it's math, it's really simple. Google is trying to turn everything over to a neural network, 100%. YouTube is 100% neural. And that's what they're trying to do with their Google ecosystem, their entire Google ecosystem. They want it 100% neural. Why? Because then they don't have to pay thousands of employees. You know, they have 10,000 people or plus monitoring in YouTube. But how many millions of videos could they possibly go through to find the ones that shouldn't be there? It's the same thing here. It's a monumental task, if you guys understand the math that we're talking about and the volume of data that we're talking about that has to be gone through, that has to be sifted through. And what Google has decided, well, fuck all that. iframes, we love iframes. We know that people can't game them, right? We know that. Well, they might know that, but we didn't. I didn't know that, and so I took advantage of it. It's the same thing that we're doing here. They say, well, they can't game a GMB, can they? But we know that people are getting some listings with PO boxes. They know where the post office, the building is. They know exactly what's going on. But if you take the time to verify it, to get that phone number in there, you get your credit card in there, you get everything that we talk about when we talk about solidifying, verifying, and solidifying that entity, especially in RYS Academy Reloaded, then you guys know that this is just one more step in the process of getting that entity where Google says, there's someone real behind this. They're spending money with us. This is okay. We're going to let them get away with this forever until we can filter all of this shit out. In the meantime, why the fuck aren't you taking advantage to everything that they're giving you to make money for yourself, for your client, for whatever? I mean, it comes down to that. Why? If you had gone and bought the original RYS Academy, you know how much damage you could have done in the last almost 3 years, right? May. Yeah. It's the 3-year anniversary of your listing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that son of a bitch is still ranking, man.
Still.
It's unbelievable, and that's what I'm saying. Like combined with some of the other methods, guys, that we've already, we already use. The syndication networks helps validate the entity, content marketing, drive stacks, and now the local PR pro method with the press releases, guys. There's like literally nothing that we can't enter into and dominate right now, and that's the truth. And Marco, if you don't mind, I want to jump in again for a couple things. There's a few more questions I want to address on the page that I think are great. But before we get into that, we've been on for almost an hour, and I think we're doing a really good job of like explaining to everybody like how awesome this process is and things like that. Should we go ahead and like drop the link for the page and the coupon code for this special? Or
yeah, I mean, you've listened to me long enough to talk shit. You guys know me. You know I'm all about results. If I don't get results, I just move on. And so if you want what's working right now and something that you don't need, like you don't need RYS Academy to do this. You don't need link building to get results. Literally, everything that we're going to give you is within the Google ecosystem so that you don't have to do anything else except what's working and what's going to get you results. So yes, please drop that link and let them know what it is that they can get and for how much.
All right, so Adam or Hernan, if you guys are on, if you want to go ahead and drop that. If not, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Rick Dugmore says, drop the link, man. Sorry, guys. You know how we do. Go. I'm sorry, Hernan, were you going to say something?
Yeah, that I'll just post the link right now.
All right, guys, and you're going to have a coupon code. It's going to give it 50, whatever. It's over 50% off, okay, from what the launch price is going to be. It's going to be very limited time, guys. Remember that. So if you're interested, jump on it now. One thing I want to say, guys, is if you guys know, we try to over deliver. We try to give as much freaking value as possible. Hence Hump Day Hangouts every week for an hour for free for you guys to come ask questions. This is an amazing course, guys. I truly believe this is the future of lead generation within Google. And I think anybody would be crazy not to jump on this, guys. So with that said, let me go ahead and address some of these other.
Let me just add, for those of you who jump in to our early bird today, I don't think we had announced it, but we're going to have to do webinar updates for the Google My Business because it keeps changing.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do is we'll do as many webinar updates as necessary so that you guys have the most current information available to you. I mean, and since this is being recorded, you can always bring this back and put a knot in my head. This is what you said you'd do.
Yeah.
So get it done. So this I'm telling you right now that I'm committing myself to doing webinars to update the course as needed because there's so much stuff coming in. If you guys, if you want to know, those of you in RYS Reloaded jumping into this, how do we work this with RYS Reloaded? I'll show you how. We'll do a webinar if you want to know how to do. Those of you who have local PR Pro, we'll show you how to work that in there. Those of you who have Syndication Academy, we'll show you how to work that in there. I mean, it's not that difficult. You guys could probably figure it out, but you guys are really busy, probably more busy than I am. And so I'll be more than happy to explain how to put this all together. But to me, that's an extra step that will be done so that you can actually step outside the Google My Realm a little bit and go into your knowledge panel. And what we're going to try to do is, or what we can do is associate your knowledge panel to the keyword so that you actually become the brand that's displayed for the keyword. Now, how fucking awesome is that? Because I mean, Rob has in RYS Reloaded, we've been able to achieve it. He knows it's not that difficult. It just takes power, and it can be done. Your brand could be associated with the keyword to the point where you become that keyword. Your brand becomes that keyword, and so I think that's just awesome. So all of that's coming. It'll be added. It's not in there yet because you don't need it. So why should you throw stuff at it that you don't need? You're literally I wouldn't say wasting your time, but your time could be better spent somewhere else. For example, getting more clients, showing them this is what I can do.
Yeah, instead of all the trial and error trying to figure this out, spend the money with us. So we'll do the trial and error for you, the testing for you, and you guys just go out and sell the damn service. Like, go get results for your clients or for your own lead gen properties. It's basically it. So,
Guys,
by the way,
let's answer questions, man.
yeah, let's do that. But real quick, for mastermind members, I already see a couple of you guys posting, like, how do you guys get the discount plus the mastermind? Somebody's going, either Hernan or Adam is going to start a thread in the Facebook community, the group for mastermind members, just like we normally do, guys, when we release a product. You guys just chime in on that post, and you know, we'll get you sorted out. You guys don't worry about it. Don't go try to purchase it direct from here. Just comment on the thread that we post in the Facebook community, okay? And we'll get you sorted out. All right. Hernan says he's going to start it.
All right.
Hernan, get the details from Adam if we don't have it. Yeah, just ping Adam. He should have it.
Okay.
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 All right. So, a couple questions here I want to go through.
Yeah, let's start from the bottom.
Okay. Let's see. Bradley for president. Nice, George. I wouldn't want that job. Poor Trump. Anyways, Brian McKay, what size image do you recommend for GMB posts? I dropped a link to Sendable, and there's another question about how to manage a lot of clients. I'll talk about that in just a minute. There's a service that I'm using right now for my own clients. It's just temporary though, because we're developing our own app for posting the GMB, which will have a lot of really cool features that will integrate with some of the other stuff that we do, like syndication networks, for example. But that's not ready just yet. So in the meantime, I'm using Sendable, IBLE, right, .com. And it's a really good service. And there's some really cool things in there that you can do. But they've got a great post on their, I guess, knowledge base about image dimensions and sizes and stuff like that for GMB posts. So I dropped that link on the page already, okay? James Rich says, will you be offering a done-for-you GMB service based on this course? I'm so glad you asked, James, because absolutely. Marco is building a team right now so that we can offer a done-for-you GMB Pro service, all right? And it's something that I'm absolutely going to be implementing with all my own clients, guys, because, again, traditional SEO, why would I want to continue doing that? Like, honestly, it's so much more work. This is so much easier, guys. This is an activity-based service, right, that produces results. But all we have to sell it as is an activity-based service, right? Does that make sense? So, for example, just the GMB post function, I've talked about this, on the last couple of Hump Day Hangouts. I pitched not all of them yet because I haven't released it or launched the service to everybody, but to my best clients, a handful of my best clients, my longest running clients, I pitched it at a discounted rate. And it was really just to test their the temperature, right? To find out if there was an interest from my clients in this service. And so Sendable has a $200 a month plan. I think it's called the Medium. It's like $199 a month. And so I before signing up to that, I sent an email to 3 of my longest running clients, and 2 of them signed up. One had a bunch of questions before he signed up, but one of them instantly signed up, and the other guy signed up. And the third guy said he's so busy with phone calls, he doesn't want any more, which I said, it's a good problem to have. When you're ready for more calls, let me know and we'll implement it. So I signed them up each for $250 a month, and I'm only paying $200 a month. So, I mean, again, and that's I specifically did this at a discounted rate for those because they're my longest running clients. So, you can, guys, the idea that I'm trying to get at with telling you that is that I pitched it as this will produce results, but I'm not going to tell you what kind of results they're going to produce. All I can say is that I'm going to be posting on a regular basis, and I'll be able to quantify exactly what kind of results it produces by using the GMB Insights dashboard, which is like analytics for Google My Business. And so again, if you just sell it based upon like, these are all the things that I'm going to do, and I'll be able to quantify the results by showing you the insights reports on a monthly basis or a biweekly basis, or however often you want to update them. But you don't have to sell the results. You can just sell the service. The results will speak for themselves. Does that make sense? So, okay. So David O'Neill says, for remodeling contractors specifically, can you get videos on page 1 for the main keyword when there's already a 3-pack? David, I haven't, maybe Marco or Rob have tested. I have not tested any of these methods with videos specifically yet, but that is definitely on our to-do list, or at least on my to-do list. Have you guys tested with video yet?
No, not the GMB video.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, it's definitely on our to-do list, so we'll let you know. That will be included in the training updates, guys. We'll absolutely let you know.
But, I mean, the whole point of this is to work this to the point where it's displaying, where you're getting displays and you're getting action, regardless whether you're in the 3-pack. And as I said, as a direct result of whatever it is that we're doing, we're showing that organic rankings do come up. And so that you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see that if you have it plugged into a Search Console.
That's right.
And so you will be able to, I mean, your other properties, that wherever it is that you're sending juice to, will benefit from all of this love if you target them in the right way, right?
Yep. So John says, how do we protect ourselves as we can with ROIS when clients decide to not pay anymore, as some do, unfortunately? You stop doing the service, right? I mean, like, my point is, if you're managing the services for them, like posting the GMB, or if you got a VA doing it, which is what I recommend. Oh, by the way, just as a quick aside, I already created process docs for a VA. I told you guys I signed up for Sendable right now while our app is in development. So I'm using Sendable. So I created process docs like I do for everything in my business, and full-on training, step-by-step instructions, written instructions, and that is going to be included as a bonus from me for anybody that buys the course, guys. It will be included as a bonus so that you can literally take my process docs, hire a VA, give them the process docs, and they'll be able to do it for you. So you don't even have to do it. That's my point. Like, I don't want to be in GMB posting all the time, so I trained a VA to do it, and she's awesome. I pay her $5 per post. $5 per post, guys, and I'm charging the clients minimum $25 per post. So that's a huge spread, guys, that I get to keep, and she's happy with that as a good wage for the post, because I even produce content templates, which, by the way, will be included in the GMB course. So essentially, I'm not going to reveal what my posting frequency is. I saw there was a question on the page by Brian Lichtig, I believe, like how many posts to see results. All that's covered in the course, Brian. I can't give that away here. Play around with different activity levels if you're not going to buy the course until you figure it out. But there is a sweet spot. But my point is that what I'm doing with her is I'm paying her $5 per post, and I given her already about 12 different, like 3 different content template types. And essentially each one, she can basically go in and copy and paste and change out tokens. So like, I've tokenized my content templates, where it'll say like call to action, and then company phone number will be a token, right? So she swaps out company phone number with the phone number for that particular client. Keyword, there might be a keyword token. She swaps it out for one of the keywords that I provided to her for each client project workbook that I sent to her. So essentially, I'm paying her to copy and paste, swap out tokens, and she's getting $5 per post. Well, let's say, if I'm scheduling, I don't know, let's say I'm scheduling 20 posts per month at $5 per post. You guys do the math. I'm paying her $100, and she could literally, with Sendable, which our app should have something similar, but with Sendable, you can schedule posts in bulk. So she can literally pull up this little pop-up window in Sendable, grab the content templates, have them all open up in text files or whatever, copy and paste, swap out the tokens in the text files, then copy and paste and schedule 20 posts. And it'd take her about maybe an hour and a half, 90 minutes, 2 hours. And she can make $100 in 90 minutes to 2 hours worth of work. Think about that, guys. Like, this is a VA. She's in Africa. She's South Africa. She's amazing. She's one of my best curators and has been for years. And I offered her this opportunity, and she jumped on it, because I told her, I was like, look, if I assign you 10 clients and I'm paying you basically $100 per client, that's $1,000 a month, right? That you can make in a matter of 2 days worth of work, which is like 5 times more than she makes in a week usually anyways. You know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy. She's really, really happy to do it. And I'm happy to do it because I make a really nice, healthy profit margin on that. And I don't have to do anything but sell the damn service. Does that make sense? So anyways, Keith says, would this help for areas that are near the main city you are targeting? Keith, this will help any business. In fact, we're going to be talking about that in the training. I know Rob and Marco have already developed part of that into the method, but how you can use the posts and things like that to start targeting adjacent areas. And there's a lot of stuff that, it can be applied for that too. Okay. John says, what are, in your opinion, your industries that would work best? Well, John, I've started to apply it to 3 different industries. You guys probably already know I primarily deal with contractors. Like, that's my that's my preferred client type. But so I've got this already working for a couple of my contractor clients, and I'm seeing great results. But I've got it for 2 others completely separate industries: a taxi cab service and a preschool, right? And I'm seeing amazing results for both. So to be honest with you, John, I would think this should work for anything, any sort of local business, period, right? Do you guys have anything to?
Yeah, I mean, pest control, plumbing, it works in locksmith of all things, and it's one of the most highly policed niches in Google. Is that as a emergency locksmith service, right? For obvious reasons, but it's working in that niche. It's working in legal. Legal is one. It's hyper competitive. Try AdWords for anything legal and see how that does, because it's horrible. The cost of a click is ridiculous.
$200 CPC sometimes. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Let me see what else. Pest control. Well, you said the taxi service.
Taxi service, preschools, roofing companies. I got 2 roofing companies actually that I'm doing this for already, and it's working for them too. So
Water damage, mold removal. The beauty of the whole thing is you're doing exactly what Google's asking you to do.
Yep.
I mean, you're completely within the terms of service, and you're staying within Google, which is what they want anyway.
That's it. So SJ says you don't even need a website. You say you don't even need a website, but does this mean you need to have a verified GMB, or does that not matter? Yes, that's the one requirement. It has to be a verified GMB, a verified Google My Business profile. Okay. Mark says, I have a client with over 300 locations. This was the question that brought I was going to address with Sendable. I have a client with over 300 locations currently and adding another 80 this year. Do you have a way to post to all these locations at the same time? Currently, the API is only available to small businesses with 10 or less locations. Yeah. Now, I haven't tried something to that scale, Mark, but again, like sendable.com is what I'm using right now until our app is developed. That's what I'm using to post. And depending on the plan you have with them, you can you should be able to post to what they call in Sendable, they call them services. So each social media account that you connect to is a service, but you can create service lists. So in other words, like what I'm doing, and I'll be open with you guys about it, is I have the Sendable Medium account, and I've got each client plugged in with GMB and G+, Google+. I know who the hell uses Google+ anymore. I know we're on a Google+ event page, but besides that, for our webinars, really nobody uses Google+ anymore, and Google is actually been like removing Google Plus from everything. But there is still some benefit to it for SEO and for maps purposes, right? So I'm just using Sendable to post to GMB and to Google Plus. So essentially each client has as a service list with 2 services attached. And so depending on your plan, you should be able to build a service list with all the locations and then just select that one list, create a post, provided that you don't have location specific URLs or phone numbers that you're trying to promote. If it's more like a 800 number and an overall branded, top level, domain that you want to send them to, then you should be able to post to all of them. Again, I don't know. I haven't tested that, but just take a look at Sendable and see. And I don't know if our app will be able to do that, but that's certainly something we could keep as a potential feature. Okay.
Yeah.
Lenny says,
sorry, Bradley, real quick, for the mastermind members that are watching here right now, and they're like getting crazy and freaking out because they wanted to get access to local GMB Pro. I just posted the instructions on the mastermind Facebook group. So go there. You will find the instructions on how to access this with the exclusive mastermind discount. Do not worry, because your discount will not expire. Okay. For everyone else that is not in the mastermind, the coupon will last 24 hours for the launch price, the early bird price. But since you're in the mastermind and you're supporting Semantic Mastery, your coupon will not expire. So go there, check it out, go nuts in the comments, post gifts, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Okay, so Lenny says, I'm already #1 in my local 3-pack. Will this course help me to rank higher? Well, potentially, yeah, because if you force a 3-pack to disappear and only a knowledge panel appears for your business, then essentially you've just ranked higher than #1 in the 3-pack, right? Right? Because isn't that like position 0? Or if you get a featured snippet, right? Which is that's also position 0, right? So potentially yes. Although, like I said, it doesn't really. Lenny, stop thinking about rankings and just think about how to get in front of more people. And I know we associate that with rankings, but the way that this is working doesn't necessarily mean rankings. And that's kind of what we've been trying to drive home throughout this entire webinar. So,
Well, and also Bradley, the testimonial from Brian, he
Mhm.
was ranking #1 for his service in the Maps pack, and his call volume doubled. So yeah, your ranking might not go up, but your displays to people searching will increase.
Yeah. Yep. And again, you'll see that right in Insights, guys. And Insights is analytics inside of GMB. It's like their little, and it's great because it's simple. It's not overcomplicated like analytics is, guys. It makes it super easy to see the kind of results you're getting. It's great because now I got to do is take a screenshot, and I got a VA that does it, goes into GMB, takes a screenshot of Insights and sends it to the client. Some clients actually have access to their GMB profile. They can go in and look at it themselves, but most of them want me to take a screenshot and just send it to them. That's what we do. So.
And if you take it from mobile, you'll see all those great images that we gave you. If you do it from a desktop, it'll be a little bit different. You'll get you get, I mean, it's all displayed right there. And like you said, it's just a desktop. And guys, the beautiful thing about this is that we don't need no stinking rankings. Like I'm trying to tell you, we don't need the fucking 3-pack. You don't need to show it. You will never have to show a client, look, you're ranking in the 3-pack for this keyword, because that's how you trigger the 3-pack. What you show them is when it's all said and done, what kind of love are you getting? You insert your tracking codes, and you can show where everything is going, where everything's coming from, the call volume. I mean, and they'll see it. I mean, they'll see it because they'll go from, like Brian said, where he literally increased it 50 to 80% first week that he tried it. Now, of course, he was already getting a lot of love from Google, but we've taken things from zero. Like I did the attorney. The attorney had absolutely nothing. It wasn't even verified. And she's killing it. She's making so much money. She's selling my calls. I should have just baited a lead gen. No, but then I would have had to go hunt for attorneys, and I hate attorneys. But if you as an attorney, sorry, no offense, but I hate attorneys, man.
Yeah.
So it's that traffic. Think traffic. When you go to pitch this, if you pitch keywords and rankings, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're putting yourself in a hole that maybe you can't crawl out of. Where if you just say, hey, look, I'm going to get results. I'm going to positively affect your bottom line. You're going to see it month to month. That's it.
Well, that's why I don't like, when I pitch this, I'm not pitching contracts. I don't do that anyways, but it's just, look, try it out for a month. If I can't quantify my results in a month, then cancel the service, right? And in a month, you'll show results, period. So it's quite simple. It's an easy sell that way, guys. Daniel says, can affiliate sites that don't need local traffic benefit from the SEO value, or is this purely local traffic benefits? Honestly, Daniel, my answer to you, unless Rob and Marco have something to say otherwise, is that this is strictly for local, because you need a verified local business or GMB profile anyways. I mean, I'm sure you could probably leverage it with affiliate stuff too, but I'm looking at it strictly as a local thing. I haven't even thought about that yet. So what do you guys think?
No, I haven't thought of this in those terms, but I can already see how he could do it with all of that keyword plus brand association that we do in RYS Reloaded, plus his GMB, all of that keyword plus brand association, brand plus keyword, the NAP, name, address, phone number, and the citations, and just making his brand the go-to keyword, right? The keyword for whatever it is that he's targeting in his affiliate niche. And I've seen people get awesome results by doing it that way.
I wonder if I hadn't tried it, but you could probably link with affiliate links in the GMB posts, right?
Absolutely.
Get offer button, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see why it wouldn't work. The only thing I would be concerned about is if you drive local traffic to a post and then they click through and it's, purchasing from a non-local site, that could cause people to, yeah,
there could be an issue.
Could be a bad taste in their mouth type thing. They could report it, that kind of stuff. I'd be cautious with that, James, or excuse me, not James, Daniel. Just only because, remember, you have to have a verified GMB profile. And if you start doing that kind of stuff and somebody reports you or Google sees it and doesn't like it, they could basically terminate for spam, and then you'd lose that. And so it's not something I would do with any like real bona fide business. I would do it with like a lead gen type site that you set up perhaps, which you could do with like a PO box. if you're going to test that kind of like black hat stuff, that's what that is, right? Using GMB stuff for affiliate, that's really against terms of service, right? So this black hat, which is okay. I'm totally cool with doing black hat, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that with something that would be like a real business, because then you could end up really hurting that business, even if it's your own. So I would set up basically a spam site for that, which could be done with PO boxes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What would happen if you push a GMB post through a first tier syndication? Well, we're going to know soon enough, because
Trust us.
that's something we're working on. I don't have any results yet, but maybe Marco or Rob do.
Yeah, actually, I'm using one of the T1 properties to push out, and some awesome stuff happens when you start doing that. That's what when I mention brand plus keyword plus brand association, I'm bringing in RYS reloaded methods and syndication academy methods to get that accomplished.
You can use press releases for that too, by the way.
Press releases to hit it in the back, of course.
Yeah, you start stacking all these things together. It's
ridiculous.
we're only at the tip of the iceberg right now.
Yeah. That's why I said, guys, there's going to be a shit ton of update webinars coming up, and more training. Like, again, this is the pre-launch webinar. So understand, guys, that next week when it launches, there will absolutely be some content in there, quite a bit actually, but we're going to continue to add to it, right? And we're going to be doing the videos, the webinars and stuff like that. So James says, any way you can tell us roughly what the cost of the DFY services will be? Honestly, James, I can't give you an answer on that yet. We don't know. We will let you guys know just as soon as we can. Whether you buy the course or not, that's going to be a service that's going to be available for all of our audience, basically, or for anybody really, for that matter. So we'll certainly, once we're ready to launch that service, we'll be doing a lot of announcement about it, and we'll know pricing then. We just don't have that yet. We haven't gotten that far.
No, but one thing we will have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, I think our posting service is almost 100% ready to go and will be available at launch.
Yep. Still don't know what the pricing is on that yet, though, right?
No, we don't know what the price is, because that's something that's totally separate, that's being developed and tested. In fact, Rob is leading the beta testing on it. It's already posting to Google My Business, but we want particular features, and Rob has been talking back and forth with the developer on everything it is that we want from this tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going well. We're working out kind of what I'd call the final wrinkles, so to speak. So.
Yeah, and guys, remember I mentioned, certainly come use our done for you service. There's no doubt, and I always recommend that, you guys know, because you should be out selling this stuff, guys, not doing it, right? But that said, I'm providing the process docs and the training for VA, so that you can literally hire your own VA. Now, I know that's opens up a whole nother set of issues in itself. And we have a course for that, by the way, which will teach you exactly how we hire, screen, how we screen, hire, and manage outsourcers. It's called Outsource Kingpin. It's the same process that we just fired up again to hire the virtual assistants that we're training for doing the GMB Pro method. So I'm going to provide you with the process docs to train a VA. You can go out, set up your own hiring funnel, hire your own virtual assistants, so that you have an in-house team that will do this. I'm not saying don't use our done for you service. All I'm saying is if you guys are going to run with this, it would make sense to hire your own in-house team, because you could keep your costs lower if you want to go through the trouble of hiring and training and managing VAs. There's a benefit to doing so, but that again creates its own set of issues. Whereas if you come use the done for you service, we handle all that, and you just mark up the services. So, from a business standpoint, it makes more sense to do, to get up and running very, very quickly and start producing revenue by using a done for you service. But if it's something that you want to kind of work into like your primary service offering within your own agency, then it would make sense to start to develop your own team. And I'm not saying that to cut us out of money. I'm saying that because I want to give you the best advice. And having your own in-house team, you're going to be able to manipulate the methods and such to be custom, specific to what you want for your clients. Whereas with ours, it'll be a little bit limited into the customability of it, if that makes sense. So, or customization, maybe that was the wrong word. Anyways, Mark says, Bradley, is there something that in this that will allow businesses with over 10 locations to post so I don't have to do it manually? Again, Mark, I just mentioned Sendable. I would look into that. Look into the Sendable service and see what they say about posting to multiple locations if it's the same brand. I'm pretty sure you can do it. I haven't tested it myself yet, but I'm pretty sure you can do that by creating a service list, right? So let's say the company's name is, I don't know, Joe's Plumbing, and they've got 10 locations. If you created a service list called Joe's Plumbing, and you connected each GMB profile for each location under that, in that one list, you should be able to select Joe's Plumbing service list when you create a post and automatically syndicate the same post to all 10 locations. Does that make sense? So again, I don't work for Sendable. I'm just using it right now until our app is fully developed. And it's a great service for what I'm using it for. And it does a whole lot more than just GMB posting stuff, guys. That's all I'm using it for though, okay? So go check the Sendable list, website, contact their support, ask them specifically before signing up. And then when ours comes out, we'll keep that in mind as obviously a function or feature. Okay. Peter says, I'm in, Bradley, and you guys looking forward to the course. Thanks, Peter. We appreciate that. Scott says, no more traditional SEO. What will I have to complain about? Scott, I'm sure you'll find something.
That's funny. That's good, Scott. Thanks.
Any private Facebook group for members? It's a good question. We hadn't talked about that. Likely, I would say no. I'm certainly not going to be I'm barely in our own Facebook group. So
No, if I commit to webinars,
so
if I commit to webinars, I can't commit to a separate Facebook group.
yeah.
What we can do is these updates, and if you're a member, if you get in, you purchase, you'll be notified because we'll have your email, and you'll be notified that there's an upcoming webinar, and you'll see an update webinar section where you could go in there and stay, watch the replay. And so we'll do that. I don't know if a Facebook group is in, well, not right now.
If there's enough of a demand for it, then yeah, we'll consider it. But I can tell you right now, like personally, I'm not. How many? Come on, guys. How many damn Facebook groups are you in? You know what I mean? I'm in way too many as it is. Anyways, it's a possibility. Okay.
Yeah,
Jonathan, it's a possibility. We don't have any plans for it just yet, though. Hassan says, "Is it okay to still use our WordPress ranked website?" Yeah, Hassan. Yeah. We're not telling you not to to undo all the stuff that you've done or just forget about everything that you've already done. No, we're not saying that at all. What we're trying to convey, like especially with the case study that I've got in there, is how you can achieve results with none of that stuff. But if you have all that other stuff, it's just going to make it that much better. Like my point is combining the GMB Pro course with like the local PR Pro course that we just launched. Like you could just use GMB Pro and get results. You could use GMB Pro and local PR Pro and get faster results, even better results. Combine that with RYS Academy, Syndication Academy, right? All those kind of things that we typically do. You're like, that's what I said earlier in the webinar. There's not a market that I don't think we could get into right now that we could, weasel our way into, so to speak, right now because of the methods that we're using. So yeah, if you've already got assets, digital assets that are producing for you, there's no reason to abandon those. Keep doing what you're doing. Just add this on top of it, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. I don't know what the deal is there, but local PR Pro, if they grab local GMB Pro, Adam's typing in Slack, guys, forgive me. We do have a special offer on that. Okay, I guess that's the one-time offer, local GMB Pro. That's the course we just launched like a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago now. But that's super powerful. It's crazy because I learned how to rank shit in maps just using press releases without everything else, right? Which included syndication networks, drive stacks, all that. And so combined the PR Pro method, which is press releases, with the other stuff, and it works like magic. Now you combine it with this, and it's just like it's a 4-punch combo. You know what I mean? Like we've got local GMB Pro, syndication networks, drive stacks, and now the local GMB Pro and local PR Pro stuff combined, right? So those 4 things alone, guys, it's just insane. Jesse says, will this work for rank and rent lead generation where we own our own properties? Yes, absolutely, Jesse. As long as it's a verified GMB profile, which you should be verifying, you absolutely can use this method for that.
That's my favorite method to use, Jesse.
Yep. Let's see. You can post max 1 minute, maybe post. I guess he's talking about Mark. Mark says you can post max 1 minute, maybe 1.5 minutes in post. I think he's talking about video posts.
I think he's talking about videos.
Okay, that's good to know. I haven't started playing with that yet at all, guys. The video posts. So
I use just quick hitting videos, 20, 30 seconds. I don't try to make them too long. Because someone on remember, you have to know your audience, the person that's coming in and looking for you, that they're looking for whatever it is that you do. If you put a 6-minute video together, they don't have time to watch that whole damn video, but they will have time to, this is only 20, 30 seconds. Boom, they hit it, they watch it, they take action. So yes, by all means, if you make them too long, I don't think the person will stay around long enough to watch it.
yeah, it'll be a yawn fest. People fall asleep. Yeah, guys, remember, I try to use video marketing as like short call to action stuff too. Really compelling. Just you want people. It's kind of like, think of it like a YouTube ad. If you guys do any of that stuff, you want it to be short, strong call to action, compelling. Try to get the click, basically. So.
Yep.
Okay, Alina says, Bradley, how would this work if you were working on a niche that is more national based and not so much local? It's a good question, Alina. I don't know, because again, I'm only applying it in a local, basically for local stuff. We may have an answer for you at a later date, but right now I can't really give you any insight on that. How about you guys? Anything you can add?
No, we go back to what I mentioned before: brand plus keyword, keyword plus brand. You want your brand to be associated with your set of keywords. That's how I would go about that, where you have to go outside of local. Just make national your local is what I tell people in our RYS Reloaded. Don't think so much of that radius, because that limits you. That limits you in the power of that you can get behind or from RYS Academy Reloaded. If you start thinking of your target or your national target as your local, which really makes sense. So you step outside the boundaries that you've set for yourself, because you're the one setting the boundaries. Google doesn't really do it if you push enough power to whatever it is that you're doing.
Awesome. Mohammed, what's up, buddy? He says, hey, guys, I can't wait to use this truly fearsome tool. Do you think rival SEOs will notice anything just by looking at GMB, or would they be totally caught unaware? Well, rival SEOs, I guess if they're looking like from their mobile devices and stuff, because remember, a lot of the stuff you won't even see on desktop, guys. Again, it's stuff that you see on mobile, and they won't have access to insights, right? The insights, which is where you're going to see the results, like that you've been able to produce. It's all within the insights reports. So I don't know enough to know whether or not rival SEOs would be able to determine that. At least initially, there may be a way that they can figure that stuff out that I'm unaware of, or maybe there will be a way that they can figure that out. But as far as I know right now, I feel like it's one of those things that will fly under the radar. What do you think, Rob and Marco?
I think it's kind of cloaked right now, because how are they going to know what you're doing if their preferences won't necessarily trigger a display of your business? I mean, as Bradley mentioned before, we think that the way this is working is according to the search's preferences and the IP, or the set of IPs that they're tied to generally when they're searching locally. And so without that benefit, I don't see how anyone can reverse engineer what you're doing, unless they go and they look at your Google My Business listing and see some of the things that you're doing inside that listing and try to reverse engineer from that point so that they copy what you're doing, but they can only copy it to a certain point. I mean, there's something that I'll be teaching about stacking inside the local GMB Pro course that I can tell you nobody's using. It's something that we've come up with on our own, and no, they won't be able to see it. Not for a long time anyway.
Yeah, someone who does a lot of reverse engineering, this one would be difficult to find for a standard typical SEO. Because they normally they're going to be searching from desktop. They're going to be looking at your rankings. They're going to be just like a bunch of the questions that we've been getting. Well, what about map pack rankings, and how are they doing it without ranking? And they're going to be looking at all the same tools that everybody else looks at. And most of this doesn't register with any of those tools yet.
That's beautiful, guys.
I can pretty much guarantee eventually, as this moves, then there'll be tools developed to try to track this as well.
Yep.
But since it's mobile centric and most SEOs work from a desktop, it's going to be tough to reverse engineer, at least for the start. So get a long head start on them.
Well, and early adopters, guys, that's the thing. I mean, you know, get a stronghold in your local area or in your niche, which if you guys know me, I'm going to tell you that you should be targeting a niche, not a specific location, right? Then if you guys get your foothold on that and become like the big fish in that pond for this type of a service, then it'll be hard. I mean, even if tools get developed, which they probably will, to be able to monitor this kind of stuff and track this kind of stuff, it won't really matter because you already have a stranglehold on that niche or your local area if you want to go about it that way. So
yeah, most of these guys know that once you become authoritative in the niche, it's really hard to take you down.
That's right. That's right. Bob says, when is your posting app due to be released? Marco, that's a question for you. Do we have an estimated time for release on that?
Well, we'll be meeting with him tomorrow for a final date and a final price probably. And so I'm expecting it to be ready by the time we publicly launch on the 24th.
Okay. So we'll have more info for you next week, Bob.
Yeah. As long as all of the kinks that are taking place right now. And it's not nothing major is showing up. It's just little kinks, right, that need to be worked out. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just real small kinks, and I can promise you the power that's coming is it's going to help automate a lot of this and make it even simpler. And then be able to help hook it to the front and back end of some of this other stuff we've been talking about. So,
and remember, you guys, in the meantime, you could use Sendable. I mean, like I said, I'm using it. It's a good service. I like it. I'm going to cancel that shit the moment ours is done. But in the meantime, I'm using Sendable, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, and again, the process docs that I created for the bonus guys, those are based on how to do what I'm talking about using Sendable and stuff like that. When our app comes out, I will update the process docs because I'll have my VAs using that. So I'll send you guys those, or I'll add that to the training when that's done. Okay. Craig says, I like that. Craig James Bond. He says, how soon will we get access to the course after purchase today? I'm not sure. Probably right away, but not all the content's there because it's not actually launched until next week. And we're going to be adding content even after it's launched. So just keep in mind what you see in the dashboard is by far not the entirety of the course. Do we have when do they get access? Can somebody answer that? Adam or Hernan, if you're on still. Looks like just Adam is.
I don't know offhand.
I'm pretty sure
we have quite a few videos in there already.
Yeah,
we're not drip feeding anything.
So I'm pretty sure it's right away. If not, you can always reach out to us at support, but I'm pretty sure it's right away. I'm sorry I don't have an answer for you for that. I usually don't handle that kind of stuff, guys. I'm sorry for that. Adam's typing now. Access right away, he says. Okay. Thanks, Adam. Should get an email on purchase. And when we say instant, give it 5 minutes, guys. Because I know people will make that purchase, and as soon as the sale completes, they'll submit a support ticket. I didn't get an email.
Yeah, sorry about that. Had some issues with some technology. Anyways, I got it in the background listening to it. But yeah, should be working. If anyone's got issues, just give a little bit for emails. We've already had a lot of people hop in, so you should be getting your info shortly.
Okay. Jordan. God, the questions keep going in. You guys are awesome. Oh, Wayne, I see your image. Don't do that, man. Old habits die hard. Okay, so Jordan says, for direct, I know I need this services, plumber, tree services, cab, but what about where the sales funnel is longer and more trust education needs to be done before conversion? Stick with traditional SEO for these? Well, I don't know. I could see how this could be applied to even something with a longer sales cycle, Jordan, because remember, the idea is to get people, first of all, into your ecosystem. Right? Well, you can use Google as the entry point to your ecosystem, your environment, right? Well, your funnel, which would be if you're doing GMB posts and you're posting about it could even be, educational content, like for informational type queries, which is where typically people start when it's a product that requires or a service that requires a longer sales cycle, right? They usually start with informational queries before they start narrowing down or going further along in that sales cycle or our funnel towards the buyer end, right? So I could see doing, for example, guys, here's one of the things I told my VAs that I'm having do the posting. She already is a curator, so she curates posts for a lot of my clients. And so as I was creating these content templates for her, which you guys are going to get, I told her, I was like, well, wait a minute. you're already curating posts. Why not just repurpose a post that you're curated as a GMB post? So you take the featured image from the post, you crop it and resize it so that it's the correct dimensions for you to be able to post it on GMB, and then take like the first paragraph, use that as the content, and then link to the actual post. So think about that. You're creating an internal link from Google to your website if you have a blog, that now you're promoting content that's going to help the SEO value of your site, but it's also going to drive people to the site, which of course you should have remarketing pixels, right? So now you've cookied them for GDN, Google Display Network remarketing, for Facebook, for YouTube, all that other kind of stuff. So my point is, all you need to do is get somebody to interact with your content, and you can do that with GMB. And once they click through to your site, now they've been, or any of your assets, digital assets where you can cookie them. Now you've got the opportunity to put them on an email list if they opt in for some sort of cheese, right? Whatever your lead magnet may be, or you can put them on a remarketing list and remarket very aggressively, which is what I recommend you do. That works really well and it's inexpensive. So there's a ton of things that you could do with that for even the longer sales cycle stuff. See what I'm saying? Do you guys got any comments on that? You want to add to that?
No, that was perfect. I don't think that I could add anything to that. I don't see why it wouldn't work. That's why I don't even want to bother. You gave it perfectly.
Don Johnson, another great comment, dude. He says, Marco's bike messenger idea makes me wonder if you guys have figured out if it's possible to integrate nearby now check-ins with GMB posting. Rob, put that on the list, buddy.
My kind of guy.
Already on the list.
Don Johnson, Miami Vice.
Fucking A.
But dude, yeah, totally. Except that the process would be different, because the bike messengers, all they're doing is kind of stretching the boundaries where she's displaying. I think that the courthouse from where she is about 5 miles away, and so that they're doing all they're doing is creating a relationship between that attorney's office and the courthouse, for example. Or other places where a bunch of people would congregate and there would be some criminal hanging out. I need an attorney right now, bro. I'm about to get arrested, right? So you need that click. And so how would we do that? Integrate nearby now check-ins and the GMB posts? I'm not sure, but yeah, something definitely worth looking at.
But what I think his question though was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Don, if you're still on, but I've got a couple clients that actually use Nearby Now, which is that app that for their so they're contractor clients, which means their technicians, their service professionals or whatever employees go out to the job and they do a check-in at the customer's location. And what that does is it creates a post inside or on their there's a widget on their website which connects to Google Map, which drops a pin, and so it's basically updating on their website in real time where their technicians are. And so how could we work that into the GMB post feature? I don't know, but I think that's a brilliant idea to pursue, Don. So that's why I'm saying put it on the list, because I have contractors right now that are using the Nearby Now service that we could play with that a little bit. So Rob, you and I can get together on that, because I've got some contractors we could test that with. Okay, and so yeah, that's something we'll absolutely look at, because I could see that being really powerful, Don. In fact, if there was a way like to do a check-in, maybe take like I don't know, again, this all have to be worked out, but like a screenshot of the map with the pin location and use that as the image for the post and say like, we're fixing a leaky drain right now at this location. If you're in the, and say the city name, blah, 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 and you've got any plumbing issues, contact us now. Boom. See what I'm saying? Like something like that. Again,
yeah.
Guys, you're working into the GMB post, the location information, keywords, service, product and or service keywords plus location information. So just think about how all of that builds and builds relevancy, right? Mm-hmm. Should I stop talking?
Yes, please.
Don't give it away now. All right, cool. Mohammed says, do you guys think it would be good with real estate? I discounted it at first, but if it works with legal, I guess it's possible. Mohammed, any local business, I don't care what industry it's in, I cannot see how this would not help or produce results for any local business.
Funny you should mention that, because we're taking on a really tough niche in real estate, and we're getting after it, and we'll let you know the results. Preliminary are looking really good, lots of action. Interaction is still lacking, but that may be due to CTAs and all of that. But yeah, we'll keep you posted, Mohammed, and let you know how we do in real estate.
I hear thunder. That means
It's probably me.
yeah, it's outside my house. My house is shaking a little bit. Raphael says, would you proceed with the GMB campaign for a client with international sales and minimal local activity? Does GMB activity affect rankings in Europe when home base is in Canada or US? I understand this is not about ranking. Just use Google site for international. Again, Raphael, I can't give you a good answer on that, buddy. I wish I could, but I honestly can't because it's not something I've tested. I've only been messing with this purely on a local basis. I wish I could give you a better answer. And again, I think Marco and Rob are going to say the same thing.
Yeah, this isn't something that I've done.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's worth taking a client on in Costa Rica that's targeting the US to see how much damage or how much trouble we can get into.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could give you a better answer, man. But, we don't have it all figured out yet, guys. We're still in, Marco and Rob are still in the rabbit hole. I'm just doing what they tell me to do. So James says, besides sendable and time, are there other hard costs like link building, et cetera, that are required to make this work? No, absolutely. So far, I've not had any other expenses other than what I'm paying a VA to do the service for me. And now I'm paying sendable, at least until our own app is out. So yeah, absolutely not. You don't even need a domain. That's the thing, guys. You don't even need an external domain. Now, that said, can you also apply link building in press releases and syndicate? Yes, of course, you can do all of that. In fact, I'm just starting testing link building to the GMB website, which as part of the case study, guys, that's inside the course, I'm going to be applying some link building to that case study website to see if I can get it. Like I just mentioned earlier that I'm seeing it climb in organic rankings, the Google provided website, which is on the .business.site domain. I'm already starting to see it climb in the rankings for a brand search, which isn't usually typically difficult, but it was on page 3 or 4 last week. And all we've done is, I think, 3 Google posts since last week, and it's already in position 4 on page 2 now. So again, what will building links to that or doing press releases, which is basically link building to that Google site, that GMB website, will that help? We're going to find out, but I assume it will. I assume it will. And actually, Rob, you started testing some of that, and does it help or not?
Yeah, it helps. The link building helps us to it. Now, I haven't isolated just specifically one, but to get back to answer just his question, I have an example test site that was a completely orphaned GMB account that was in a totally different niche. And on March, I think it was, sometime in March, I switched it to a completely different niche, cleared all the old pictures and everything, and started applying only this and this only. No link building, not a single thing whatsoever. And I already have some terms and ranking in the 3-pack on a rank tracker. I know we've thrown rank trackers under the grid, but it's at least a little bit of a, indication. And I'm seeing inside the insights. I think for the first couple months when this was just sitting there orphaned, I had like maybe 100 visits. And in the month and a half since then, it's up to 600 to 800 impressions, visits to the site, link clicks, stuff like that. Doing absolutely nothing but what we're talking about.
There you go. Henrik says, Google has announced an agency listing product which you can apply for. That's cool, Henrik. That's something we'll look into a little bit further. John says, concerning your answer regarding how do we protect ourselves as we can with RYS when clients decide not to pay anymore, as some do, unfortunately. How can we, as we do in RYS, simply change the URL of that client to cancel payments to another client, continue to profit? Thanks. Okay, so John, I don't think you're understanding the what we're talking about here with the GMB method is you are producing activity inside the client's Google My Business profile, right? In their dashboard, right? So I don't know how you would redirect stuff. Now, okay, here's the thing. If you were doing Google posts and you were linking with, like, say, a redirect URL to their content, to their assets, their digital assets, but it was through a redirect URL or domain that you control, then you could obviously change the target URLs, the destination URLs for those redirects. The thing is, though, GMB posts are temporary. I think they remain live, but you have to, like, search for them or something. I don't know. Rob can give a better answer on that. But GMB posts typically expire within 7 days, right? So my point is, you just stop doing activity on their dashboard. And unless they pick it up and start doing the activity on their own, then it really doesn't matter if you change the target URLs or not, because those posts are going to basically be worthless anyways within 7 days. Am I right or wrong in this, Rob? Because I don't want to mislead him.
I'm doing one, right, where I'm sending calls. I control the Google My Business listing. And this is the one that I just set aside. And I haven't really done anything with it, because all my time has been consumed with this and other stuff, but it's producing calls, and I get, it's not that much. It's like $12 or $13 a call, but it was good enough that over time it may be like $1,600, which I know it isn't much, but if I had actually bothered to build that up, I guarantee that this would be an asset where I could be doing 4 or 5 times that a month. As an affiliate, I could generate way more calls than what I'm doing right now, but I'm not really interested in it. I was interested in this and a few other things that I'm doing. I mean, maybe I should get more interested in that, more affiliates. But as I said, I'm in Costa Rica, and I would have to go get the GMB listings in Google, get them verified, which it becomes a little bit more difficult. I know Rob does a lot of lead gen, and so Rob, why don't you tell him what you think?
Yeah, John, it depends on how you're asking your question. If you own the assets and you own the GMB and you own the listing, then yeah, you can absolutely redirect it to wherever you want to point it, because you own the phone number and everything. But if it's a client and it's their GMB and their business, you're basically, if we try to put this into a physical standpoint, you're going into their house and helping them remodel.
That's right.
Right? You can't then go later out and go back and rip out their wall if they didn't pay you for the drywall.
And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't want to do that, guys. Like guys, here's the thing. I just mentioned that and Rick Dugmore just purchased. Thanks. He says, I have been looking for a task-related service to sell to clients. Well, that's what you're doing. You're providing a service-based, an activity-based service instead of a results-based service. So they're paying you for the activity. You perform the activity, you get paid. When you stop performing the activity, you stop being paid. Or if they stop paying you, you stop performing the activity. But it doesn't mean you go back in and do it. Now, again, I get where you're going with it, John, but my point is like, it's just like when you're blogging or doing content marketing to a branded syndication network for a client. I always tell people how to mitigate, how to reduce risk. I've talked about some kind of black hat ways to be able to clone the client's website, do redirects and stuff like that through your own domain so that you can control some of the external links that have been built to their site. You can control that. But when it comes to content marketing, you're marketing content on their blog to their branded syndication network. I would never, ever tell somebody to use a redirect domain for content that's being published to their blog for their branded syndication network, because that's just wrong. It's unethical. You don't do that. Like, you give them what they pay for. Certain things you can do, like I said, like for any additional external link building, you could do through your own redirect domain so that you could redirect them to anywhere you want if they stop paying you. It's different. When you're working on their branded properties, you do work for that client. Does that make sense? And again, it's just, that's the ethical way to do it, guys. I don't recommend. Now, what Rob said is absolutely true. If you own the asset, if you own your own lead gen Google My Business verified profile, and you're just selling the leads or the activity, the traffic, whatever, to a client, then you have complete control over that. If they stop paying you, you're free to redirect that to anyone you want because it's your asset. But when you're working in somebody else's house, to use the analogy that Rob did, when you go into their dashboard or you're providing activity in their dashboard for their brand, all of the assets should point to their stuff. And again, that's just the ethic. Give them what they're paying for, guys. That's all I'm saying. I just don't like trying to do backhanded shit when it comes to that. And I'm not saying that's what you were asking to do, John, or anybody else for that matter. I'm just trying to explain, give them what they're paying for, right? Rick, awesome. Thanks, buddy. It's good to see you in the group. Avishai, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. He says, what is the cost for mastermind members? It's the launch price minus 30% discount, right? Then that's the launch for now. So that means it's comes out to like $315, I think, if you're a mastermind member. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous what we're but membership. We've always said since we started that membership has its privileges, and that's the way that we treat our membership. They know they expect certain things from us, and we like to deliver. And so, yes, they're getting the early bird and a further 30% off.
Yep. It comes out
And
to just over $300.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about joining the mastermind just to get the discount on this course, absolutely worth it. The extra amount of information you'll get inside the mastermind you can't put a price on it.
Plus access to all of us and all the other high level marketing folk in our group. I mean, that's somebody asked earlier about a Facebook group for this course. Well, we have the mastermind. I mean, again, that's a separate purchase. I get that, guys, but that's our mastermind is where you guys have access to us at all times pretty much. So
yeah, basically sell this, get you a client that's paying for your monthly mastermind fee and get in there.
that's it.
Plain and simple.
Scott says, my problem is the client who is in the suburb community won't get an address in the big city, making it very tough to get the elusive 3-pack location. I'm really excited about this program. Yeah, again, because it's not dependent upon 3-pack ranking, at least not to us observing remotely, right? Mm-hmm. To people in that location, we may very well be in the 3-pack and we just can't see it where we're at remotely, if that makes sense. So Scott, this is absolutely right up your alley. This is something that you could apply. Wayne, I'm going to +1 it only because it looks rather inviting. Ryan says, how much time does this take to do per listing estimated? Ryan, I've got again, when you templatize the process, which is what I've produced the process docs for my VA, she can literally schedule, 20 posts basically in about 90 minutes. So, I mean, again, I don't recommend you do this. If you need to do this on your own a few times just to get an understanding, I highly recommend all of you do that. Go through the process yourself a few times so that you understand it, and then you can train a VA to do it, or use our own done for you service when it's available. Okay. But again, I'm giving you guys the process docs. So even if it took an hour to do a post, which it doesn't, it takes literally seconds, especially if you're using content templates. But if you're training a VA to do it, what difference does it make? It's not your time, it's their time. You're paying them to do it, and you should be returning a profit for whatever their labor is, right? Because you're just marking it up. So it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you're doing it personally, I can understand why you'd be concerned about that, but it's very, very quick. Again, especially when you're using content templates, and like right now I'm using Sendable until our app's developed. With Sendable, you can do bulk scheduling. So like you could do all of them very, very quickly. Okay. It's a very simple process. All you need is an image, guys. And it says right in the GMB post, it says 1 to 300 words. Now you can put more than 300 words, but it says 1 to 300 words. So like my content templates, guys, are like, it's like 3 or 4 sentences. There's just a whole bunch of different variations of them so that we can keep cycling through them and it'll look like unique content each time. Okay. Do you still get the benefit? F. Thompson says, do you still get the benefit like mobile if you use Sendable? I'm not sure what that question means. I'm not really sure what that means.
Yeah, I have an idea. Yeah, it still triggers the mobile algorithm. So you will get the mobile benefit because that's what we're after.
All Sendable is, guys, is an app that allows you to schedule the posts. Right. So it's not desktop or mobile specific, if that makes sense. You can, I'm not sure I understand the question, so I don't know if I'm giving you the right answer. Scott, what's up, Scott? He's been with us like since day one.
Yeah.
Scott says, is this course a step-by-step system and you just complete the steps one by one? Thanks for your help. You know how we do, Scott. Come on, man. That's exactly what it is. It's still in development, so there's going to be a whole lot of more step-by-steps coming out, but that's exactly what it is. Okay. I am learning. Love the name. He says, does this work even if businesses don't have walk-ins, only appointments? Yeah, absolutely. Guys, inside of GMB, there's literally an appointment setting URL section.
Yep.
If it's all by appointments, you add your link, your appointment setting URL, or whatever app it is that you use, you add that as your link, and people can schedule appointments right from Google Maps. Okay. So without even having to leave Google. That's crazy. Wayne says, yes, you could rank higher according to Jason, only if you have glaucoma. That's what that image was for, huh? Rank higher. Get it? All right. Sorry, Bradley, I had to step away. Did you talk about multiple location solutions? Oh, no, Mark. If I got to go through this again, I've answered it twice already. No, just go watch the replay, buddy. Yeah. Check Sendable. I think there's a solution within Sendable, and our app should do that too, but I've already answered that twice, buddy. Yes, you should be able to post to multiple locations from one post. And you should be able to create service lists in Sendable. Okay. Jose, do we offer done for you? It's in development. Yes, we will be offering done for you, and it should be available by launch time. Is that what we said for the GMB posting?
Say that again.
That's the plan.
The done for you posting, will that be available by launch time next week?
Are you saying the done for you or the auto poster?
Done for you.
Oh, that part I'm not sure.
No, not done for you, because we have to hire the VAs and train them.
Oh, no, I just couldn't remember if you said it was going to be ready for next week or not. I didn't think so. But no, Jose, it's in development. We will let everybody know as soon as it's available. We'll give you plenty of notice, okay? James says, are you guys thinking about creating a white label platform so that members can more easily sell your services through the done for you services? It's a great point.
Great idea. Yeah.
Somebody write that shit down. Very cool, James. We will absolutely work that in. That's great. Thank you for that idea. James is the winner today.
Absolutely.
Can we send him a hat or a T-shirt or something? Adam, if you're on,
Adam,
let's tag this guy James and send him something, a T-shirt or something.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just typing something in Slack, but who was it real quick?
James Strain. You want me? I'll take a screenshot.
Got it. What a
James,
swell
you're the winner
suggestion.
today. So
Awesome. Hey, James, if you're watching, I'll try to find you, but if you're watching right now, send an email into support, and we'll get back to you and hook you up with something.
very cool. Oh, man, the questions keep coming. You guys are killing me. We're 2 hours in already. All right, we'll keep on. Keith, what's up, Keith?
We're going to have to answer faster so they can quit typing.
I know, Jesus. As mentioned, how do we protect ourselves from clients who dump us after they get good results? You can't, Keith. That's the thing. You can't. Don't worry about that, guys. If you're getting them good results, they're going to want to keep paying you. And some clients won't. Guess what? Good riddance. Fuck them. Like, I'm not kidding. Guys, anybody that will dump you after you get them results, you don't want them in your life anyways. So stop worrying about that shit so much, guys. I'm sorry to get a little excited about that. But honestly, if you have people that are willing to drop you after you get them results, which it will happen,
yeah,
fuck them. Forget them. For real.
Yeah. And you know what you do? You walk across the street to the competition and you say,
sell it to them.
I was making that fucker across the street more money than you could ever imagine. You want what I was doing for him? Because the guy is unethical and whatever. You tell the truth. I say, I would like to do it. As a matter of fact, for the first 3 months, I'll drop the price that I was charging him.
Yeah.
And you come at him hard, man. You blast him so that he'll come back to you and say, please forgive me. You say, no, sorry, I'm busy. I got money to take care of. Fuck you. That's what we call POFU.
POFU.
Position of fuck you. That's where you want to be, man.
So how do you really feel, Marco?
POFU.
No, I mean, it's happened to all of us.
Oh, I know.
It happened to all of us. So you want to get to that point where you say, you know what? POFU.
Yep. Okay. Mark says, I already bought the PR course. Awesome, Mark.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Bob says, do you have a link for the PR Pro special? Well, Bob, it's part of the upsell or one OTO or whatever you want to call it for this funnel if you purchase. Otherwise, you can buy local PR Pro, but it's going to be at just whatever the standard price is now.
We're going to have to drop the link in there again because someone just asked for it.
Or Bob, you can come join the mastermind and you get the mastermind discount on everything.
Bob was in our mastermind.
He was. What happened?
Wasn't he? Or syndication account? You've been in one of. I remember you. I don't forget people that easily. You've been in one of our groups.
Well, I recognize the name, but I don't. Ever
Hump Day Hangouts also.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ted says, does this only work for a physical location? Yeah, Ted, because it requires a Google My Business, a verified Google My Business profile. So, I mean, but you can create a physical location even for a virtual business. Again, no, I haven't started spamming this method yet, guys, and so I'm not going to encourage you to do that yet until we've tested.
Yeah. Okay? Right now, we don't need to. Again, let me remind you, we don't need to do any of that shit that you usually do to try to get your stuff to rank. Just activity, right? Triggering those algorithms is where we're getting all the love back from. And so just relax. If we need to do anything else, we'll come at it.
Okay. Jack says, is there a link coming for this today? Jack, it's already on the page, but yeah, we can drop it again if needed. Just scroll down through the comments, Jack. You should be able to see it. We can drop it again. Somebody.
I want to bring it up higher.
Okay.
Yeah, I just redropped it.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. Dan says, hi, gents. I tried purchasing using PayPal, but it doesn't want to use my primary business account via PayPal, but only seems I need to populate it. Dan, just contact support.
Yeah.
We'll get you sorted in support, buddy. Don't worry about it. If you're having trouble, anybody having trouble, just contact us support. We'll get you sorted. Okay. Dawn says, yes, that is what I was thinking. In essence, get the text to do the GMB posting with geo-targeting. I love it, Dawn. You're the second winner. Yeah, in fact, Don Johnson, send us a support ticket, support@semanticmastery.com. You're our second winner for the day because you've had really good comments and ideas. So you're absolutely getting a prize too, okay? So please reach out to us, support, just remind and put in the support ticket that I told you to do so. You are our second winner for today. In fact, I probably should have named you first because of that awesome tip. So Mark says, there is one I believe it won't work for. Lodging doesn't allow Google Posts yet, Mark. Yet, right? It's probably coming. Unless there's some reason why they won't. But I imagine, because I've seen the Google Post feature. Well, maybe that's not true. I've seen some of these features roll out at different times for different industries. Is that right, Rob?
Yeah, and they're still rolling out more across different categories, get different information inside the GMB.
Industries, niches, countries. I mean, it's being applied differently. I guess to see what results it. This is why this is such a good time to be in here, experimenting with them and letting them just push you up to see what kind of action you're going to get. Right now, we're getting a lot of love. Take advantage of what's happening. Take advantage of it. Ride the wave, because you'll still be at the when it's all said and done. You'll still be at the forefront of everything, and hopefully by then, what you've done is you've taken over the niche and you've established yourself as the trusted, authoritative entity in this niche.
Okay, we're almost to the end of questions. Mark says they have had that agency form for 8 months and haven't replied. Okay, so you must be talking about the Google, agency thing. Bradley, sending you a Facebook message with a link to potential source I just found from multiple locations. I don't want to post the link here because I don't know the source. Okay, thanks, Mark. I'll check it out. And if it's something worth mentioning in the training, we'll mention it. We'll bring it up. Okay, so I appreciate that. Paul says, do what I do. Own the GMB page, even though it's a client's business. I own the GMB page. That's how you stay in control of the client. Yeah, I could see that, Paul. There's some real legality issues there, though, that you got to be extra special careful with. And I wouldn't recommend doing that, guys. For a
he's
Google
working
business verified profile, the business should own that. They should have access to that, in my opinion. If it's your own brand that you set up and then sell the leads of the traffic, totally different story. But I highly recommend that you, whenever you set up a Google My Business profile for a client, that you give them access details. And when they stop being your client, you turn it over to them. And that's just my opinion on that. You guys can do it any way you want, but I would be real careful about owning other people's Google My Business pages for real businesses. Okay.
I talked to Paul, and he's making it a condition of the contract that he's in control.
There you go.
Of the GMB. He's working it into the contract.
If you've got it in writing and they agree to it, that's different. Okay. Then
he's not doing anything shady.
That's great, Paul. That's bold. That's pretty damn bold. But hey, whatever you can get away with, man. If you can get it in writing, it's more power to you, buddy. Raphael, are multiple GMB verified accounts black hat? No. If they're real. Now, if they're fake GMB profiles, like with PO boxes, then yeah, that's black hat. I still do it all day long, though. But no, like real businesses, having multiple businesses or managing multiple businesses, there's absolutely nothing black hat. There's nothing against terms of service for that. Okay, nothing against that whatsoever. Mark says he got it. Apparently, we're talking about the questions for Sendable. Let's see. Discount is good for 24 hours. Rick, I need to rewatch the beginning. The discount is only good for 24 hours for non-mastermind members. If you're a mastermind member, Rick, which I know you were, but I'm not quite sure that you are still, that's the discount will be in addition to the 30% mastermind discount, which will be available until next week when we go public with this, which will be, I think, on the 24th. So you have basically 9 or 10 days to redeem if you're in the mastermind. If you're not, you got to do it within the next 24 hours. Paul Fussell, Marco quote of the day, POFU. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we should drop the link to that video.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Bob says, I was in the mastermind. Can I get back in at the old cost? LOL.
No, but we can work out
Might be able to
we're
work something
helping out with.
Yeah. If you're seriously interested in joining the mastermind, Bob, you can reach out to us as support. We might be able to work something out, but it will not be at whatever your grandfathered price was at that time. I can tell you that. Okay. The value's gone way up, guys, because there's so much more training in there, Bob. So much more training in there now. Okay. Pofu, almost as powerful as Fumo. Fuck you money. Yeah, that's position of fuck you means you have fuck you money. That's what that means. So absolutely. Greg says, after managing a hotel and a resort, I haven't seen post capability yet. Yep. Okay. So Greg confirmed what Mark said. Lodging. James Bond says, I'm in. I'm going to get killed by my wife for spending more money, but I'm in. Hey, Craig. So think of it this way. Instead of considering that you're going to get killed by your wife for spending money, consider what your wife will do when you start making more money.
There you go.
That way. It's all about like brain shit, right? So think about that. Instead of thinking, oh shit, I just spent money, my wife's going to kill me. Think about, oh shit, I just spent money that's going to make me a shit ton of money. Think about what my wife's going to do. Think about it that way, and it makes it a hell of a lot more palatable, right? Keith says, I'm looking forward to boosting my clients. Keith, this will absolutely do it. Jack says, hi, have the link to purchase. Will this new procedure help me with various keywords for the GMB and maps? Absolutely, Jack. That's exactly what it's for. Bob says, had to ask. Well, if you're serious, Bob, reach out at support, and we'll see what we can do. Okay. All right, guys, that was it. End of questions. I'm cutting it off. We're 2.5 hours. Well, close to 2.5 hours in. Guys, we appreciate your time today. Hope you understand the opportunity that we see with this. I truly believe this is the future of lead gen within Google. It's hands down got to be one of the coolest things I've seen since RYS Academy. So if you guys haven't joined yet, I highly recommend that you do, or come join the mastermind, and you can pick it up at a later date. All right. You guys have any closing words?
Yeah, fuck Google.
See, you say that, but I don't feel that way, man. I've always felt like they were a business partner instead of the enemy. I mean that, man. I've made my entire livelihood off of the back of Google. And so for me, I always look at them as a business partner. So difference of opinion. So POFU regardless, right?
Regardless.
Leverage Google. How about that?
That's it.
Leverage the hell out of them.
So, well, Rob, thanks for your time. Marco, appreciate it. And Adam, thanks for sticking around and handling all the back end shit as usual.
Woo!
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for everybody being here. If you have any questions, Hump Day Hangouts is on Wednesday, but the discount will be gone by then. So,
yep.
So see y'all later. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Bye, everyone.